But please do, if you need to unmute at any point, please do, and please listen to your bodies. You know, don't push yourself. You don't have to do that. You can just listen and go with the flow. Go with the flow. That's what yoga's all about, going with the flow. Oh, my cat's in here again. He's going to bother me, I bet. Anyway, that's, I think, all of it. Great. Okay, so let's come to a nice, comfortable, seated position, nice, easy pose here. Okay, and just allow a little bit of movement through the hips first to really allow yourself to sit comfortably. If you need to use a block or a bolster to make sure that you are comfortable and that your pelvis is tilted a little bit forwards. Some people's pelvises do tilt forwards just naturally. Some people's might need a little bit of help. Some people's tilt the opposite way. So just be aware of that. And lengthen through the spine. So bring your hands to your knees. Lengthen through the spine, close your eyes. Bring your awareness into the space that you're holding. And also maybe just take a little body scan here. Just observing how your body feels, noticing any, maybe some imbalances or maybe tightness through one side and, you know, different from the other. Just noticing anything really that becomes apparent for you without any judgment or attachment. Just accepting ourselves as we are at this moment. Bring your hands to your heart center now. It could be right hand on top of left or left hand on top of right. It doesn't matter. Just bring your hands to that space. Bringing awareness into your heart center. The chakra at your heart center is Anahata chakra. And just feel and move in time. Feel yourself tuning in to the timing of your breath. Let's maybe take a count to the breath. So taking a count of 4 or 5 on the inhale. And 5 or 6 on the exhale. Again, inhale. Just feeling the rise and fall of your chest. As you breathe and feeling that sense of softness moving through your central nervous system. Okay, let's open the eyes now and just roll the shoulders a little bit. And you know how we always do this, the intuitive cat and cow? I just started naming it that, and maybe it's got a different name, I don't know. But we're going to just do that same kind of movement of figures of 8 or circles through the spine and around the shoulders in our seated pose. Okay, so just allowing your body to move in whatever way, however slow or fast, feels right for you. If you're noticing that you're rushing through it, then maybe go a little bit slower. But hopefully the calming breath at the beginning will help you to not feel like you have to rush. You don't have to do anything fast here. Okay. And then bring yourself back to center. Okay. I always love doing a twist first. I just think it's so energizing and really nice for the spine. So let's take our usual twist, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. And again, just noticing the breath here. I think that sometimes in yoga classes, we can get very caught up in inverted commas, the right breath. But I kind of just want to leave that behind today. I will sort of guide you through like the inhales and the exhales, but actually just bringing your awareness to your breath is, you know, as important. So bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind. And just noticing how your body moves with your breath rather than moving the body in time with the breath, if that makes sense. Because, you know, when you're in a more of a vinyasa flow, you can get a bit sort of stressed out sometimes about whether you're doing the inhale at the right time or the exhale at the right time. And I just don't want you to worry about that. Just be aware of your breath. So nice big breaths in here. And let's take our legs out to the sides today. So we're going to take the legs out to the sides. And again, we're just going to roll a little bit from side to side. Your legs don't have to be like all the way out. You don't have to be in a splits here. Just in a comfortable wide leg seated position. If you have got very tight or short hamstrings today, you might want to lift your hips up slightly. That's absolutely fine. Let's just move into these spaces and be really kind to ourselves. Okay, so if you want to move the body forwards, if that's available for you, you can bring your hands down to the mat in front of you and start to fold forwards. That might not be accessible for everybody. Okay, so as an option, because we're going to come into a side stretch in a minute, if it's not available for you, bring one leg in. Okay, and it could be here, 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 wherever it is, and then see if you can get a bit more space that way. You might not, but you might find that you've got different space in a different direction, and that's fine. Okay. And do it the same on both sides. So if you have one leg out and one leg in, do the same on both sides. I've got my mini Debbie McGee here, my glamorous assistant, Teddy, my counterpart. Okay, and then bring yourself back up. And if you haven't had a leg in, bring your left leg in towards the body. We're going to bring the right hand out to the side, so out to the side of this extended leg, or if it's available for you, you can try and go towards the toes. So it's up to you. So it could be here or on the inside. But we're going to turn the body out to the left and reach this left arm up and over. So you might be to the side and you might even have a block here. You might want to rest a forearm on the block. That can be quite nice. And reach into that left shoulder, into the left finger. So keeping the fingers busy, so they are active. Reach into that side, go as far as is comfortable for you. There's always going to be a little bit of like a little bit of tightness or a little bit of extra stretch that you could always take if you feel like that's what you want today. If you have got your hand towards your foot, you can try and bring that upper hand further down. You might want to reach forwards and back to get that space down the lower left side of your back, or even into this hip. And inhale, back to center. Oh, I love a side stretch. Don't you just love a side stretch? Okay, Teddy loves a side stretch, I can tell. And then bring this right leg in here. This is what they say, never work with children or animals. I think the animal's more reliable. Okay, so and then we're going to again do the same on the other side. So left hand to the mat or forearm to block. If it's super tight here, just help yourself. Use a block and rest on it. That's absolutely fine. It's actually quite nice. And then reach this right arm up. Take your time because you might need to move around your shoulder joint. Some people's shoulder joints are very have got a lot of space around the joint. Sometimes this it's got a name and it's something really funny, and now I can't remember what it is. It's not the clavicle, but there's a I'm gonna have to think about it and remember, because that's going to really annoy me. There's a bone here, and it can sometimes compact on the shoulder joint to stop your shoulder moving as much as maybe you would like it to. I guess is the way I should go there. So you reach into that space, move around compression. And I say that because I have compression in my shoulder because I can't take it that far. And if you want to take the hands to the foot, you can. Okay, nice long breaths in here, just moving your body. And what you'll notice is if you've gone a bit too far in the pose, that your breath will start to struggle. And that's when you know you shouldn't be going that far. Okay, so come back to center. Let's bring the legs back in. Okay, and just allow the spine to move a little bit here. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana here. So we're going to press the soles of the feet together. Now, everyone's going to have different range of movement through the hips. So your knees might be up here, they might be down here. When I first started, my knees were up here. So it can be bones, it can be just muscle. So just be aware of that. But we're going to press the soles of the feet together and try and bring the feet as close in towards you as you can. And we're going to just very, very slowly start to fold the body forwards. You can use a block to rest on here if it's a bit strong. Where you'll be feeling it, different people will feel it in different places. So you might be feeling it through the insides of the thighs. You might be feeling it in the groin. Sometimes you can feel it in the lower back. If you're getting any sort of shooting pains through the lower back, just bring yourself up a little bit. You don't have to fold all the way forwards. If you're not there yet, it doesn't matter. Okay, so just allow your body a little bit of time in this pose to feel into any tightnesses. And sometimes what I have found with some of my students is if you hold on to the shins and just move from side to side, It's not traditional yoga at all, but it always seems to work. You can roll from side to side, and then when you try and come a little bit further forwards, you might have a little bit of extra room. Neve, that looks so good. And I know that because that is one of your, like, what's it called, challenging areas, isn't it? But that looks so great. Well done. Gorgeous. Okay, lovely. And just breathe into that space. Okay, we're going to, Teddy, you're going to get a bit of a shock now. We're going to, I'm just going to turn out this way, but I think you're probably all on the right sides of your mats. So we're going to then do something which can be a little bit funny. So we're going to try and catch hold of your feet or toes or ankles, whatever you can get hold of here. And we're going to bring the body back and try and get those legs out. Okay, and the knees might stay bent. That's fine. If you've got the toes and you want to try and straighten the legs, this is basically, if you've got short legs, this is the trick. With short legs are the trick. Short legs and a long body is a win sometimes in yoga. Okay, because we're in Ubaya. Beautiful. Ubaya Padangusthasana. Now, this is, sometimes you might roll back in here. And actually, I'm just going to turn the other way because I'm going to run over the cat otherwise. Actually, that is part of the pose. So we're going to keep a nice straight spine, but as you roll back, you're going to have to pull the belly in and curl the spine. So we're going to roll, 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 roll all the way back. And your feet might come all the way back. And you can take some rolls in here. So it's a little bit like a massage. If you're on a carpeted floor, it's a lot more like a massage. If you're on a hard floor, it's slightly uncomfortable. But we're just going to roll a little bit here. And then we're going to try and bring ourselves using momentum and core to bring ourselves back up. I know, this is why I said it's a real silly one. Because it's really hard to get back up, just so you know. And then bring the legs and feet back in. I wish you weren't on mute because I can imagine there's going to be a lot of giggling here. Okay, and we're back into our seated pose. Okay, let's come from seated onto hands and knees. Okay. Okay, so onto hands and knees. And your spine will probably actually feel pretty nice right now, so you won't feel the need to do too much cat-cow. But let's just come through it before we come up into our downward facing dog. So if you feel like you want to stay for longer in your cat-cow, you can move it around in there. But otherwise, we're going to just tuck the toes under and bring ourselves up into a downward facing dog. And some nice long breaths in here and feel into those little calf muscles. Oh, hip clicks. Okay, and just move it around in there. Let's just take some movement with this left leg. So lift the left leg, but you don't have to come into a three-leg dog. Let's just move it around. See how it feels. Play around with it, moving into the hip flexor or out. Bring that foot back down. Let's do the same on the other side. So just moving that knee around, exploring the space that you've got in your hips and through the glutes, hip flexors, everywhere. Just playing around, seeing how it feels. Moving those muscles, moving those joints around, keeping them happy, okay? And bring yourself back into your downward facing dog. Lengthen through the spine. Don't worry about the legs being straight. If you need to soften the knees, that's totally fine. In fact, it's nice. Let's bring the knees back down And tuck the hips back towards the heels. I've got glitter all over my mat, and it wasn't even anything to do with me. Extend through the arms. Okay, so just breathing in this extended child's pose, pressing into the fingertips here and rolling the shoulders. Roll, roll, roll those shoulders. Okay. And let's inhale, draw the hands up. We're still on the knees here, and we're just going to open up the chest a little bit here. So looking up here and extending the arms back behind you. If you want to interlace the hands behind your back, you can. Oh my gosh, I've just realised I haven't got my professional light on. Hold on, I don't know if it's better that way or not. But we're just seated on our knees, and if you want to, if it's accessible for you, take the, I mean, Nicola, you've literally got like a spotlight on you right now. High exposure. And look up, open up the chest here. And we're going to do a little half camel here, which I hope that you will like. And I can't remember if we did it last week or not. I just recently started putting it in, and I'm just really enjoying it. So what I'm going to offer you is that if you want to use a block or some support behind you, you can, because we're going to take, it's almost like a twist. So we're going to take the left hand behind you. I'm going to use this block. You don't have to use a block. You could bring your hand to the floor. And then we're going to sweep this right arm up and take the weight into that hand that's behind you. Now, once you get there, you might feel that you want to press into the knees, squeeze the glutes, and lift the hips up into a little bit of like a little baby half back bend, a little baby half camel. Okay, and just breathe in there. It doesn't have to be like super crazy. If it feels better for you to come up onto the tiptoes in here, you might feel like you can be a bit more stable sometimes. That's fine. If you want to come up onto tiptoes, that's fine. You don't have to. And then bring it back down. Just coming back the way you came to avoid any like not good twisting. Okay, and back to center, and it's just such a nice side stretch and back opener. It's really nice. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So taking your block or your hand round to the back. If you want to come up onto tiptoes, you could come up onto them now. So you could stay here, and you wouldn't need to bring your hips up if you don't want to, but reach that left arm up and then lift the hips up so that you're bringing yourself more, into a camel / back bend. And again, if you want to keep the feet flat, you can. It's totally up to you. But try and take some nice breaths in here. Once you feel like you can't take a breath, you might have gone a bit too far. And then bringing the hips down first, bring the arm back round to the front. And just move through the spine a little bit here, curling it. We're going to bring ourselves back down into our child's pose just to release the back from that back bend. And just move the hips from side to side in here, just stretching it out. Nice long breaths. And then back up onto hands and knees. Okay, let's just again neutralize through the spine. So just give it a bit of a wiggle through your cat and cow. Okay, and then bringing your spine to neutral here. So what I really love for you to do is try and pull the lower abdomen in. And so you're activating the pelvic floor here. If you need to split the knees apart a little bit more, that's fine. We're going to extend the right leg back. and reach the left arm forwards. Now that bit's kind of the easy bit except for balance, but what happens is, and you can see I'm doing it here, is that your back will start to arch. So you need to draw that belly in again to try and keep the spine neutral. You're going to be looking to the right hand here. Okay, so extend that leg back behind you. If you want to pulse it, you can. You don't have to. And then we're going to draw it in. So you're kind of crossing the hand in front of the knee and then take it back. Draw it in. That's on the inhale. And back out on the exhale. Don't stress out if your breath's not doing it the right way around. Inverted commas, right way around. And back in again. Last one. And back out. Then draw it back to center. Okay. Let's do the same on the other side. So neutralizing the spine, and that does mean just pulling the belly in, the lower belly in. And then lengthening through the left leg and reaching through the right leg. So notice if you've dropped into a lazy back bend here. That's I always want to do that. That's always what my body is like. Let's be lazy. Lazy body, okay? And keep that belly drawn in. And if you want to take these, if you want to take these pulses, I mean, the balance might be enough, but pulses are welcome if you want to do that. Neve, if you just done that boot camp, you probably won't want to do that. And then we're going to bring, I don't know if Mari did it as well, bring the right hand in, the knee into the center. So you're bringing the elbow up kind of behind you. And then exhale. Out, so we're kind of using movement here in the poses. Inhaling, bringing the knee and the hand back in towards you. Exhale, taking it out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back to neutral when you get there. Last one, inhale. And exhale, back to neutral. And back to your cat-cow. Move it all around in here. Let's tuck the toes under. Back up into downward facing dog. Oops. Pedal through the legs again here. Feel into those hammies. And let's reach this right leg back and up into a 3-leg dog. And just be gentle with it here. Be easy with it. Doesn't matter what it looks like. The leg doesn't have to be straight. This is a very relaxed 3-leg dog. I'm actually more interested in what's happening with the straight leg, the left leg that's pressed into the mat. So if you want to move the heel up and down or play around with how it feels in that leg, then go for it. And we're going to bring that right foot forwards to the top of the mat and bend the left knee, back down to the floor. Okay, let's swoop this right arm up. So we're in a nice little twist here. If you're on a hard floor, it's sometimes quite nice to have a cushion underneath that back knee. If you want to lift up, press into the toes, you can. Or you can keep the knee on the floor. If you're up on the toes, then think about rolling from back to front, just noticing how that feels. And play around with this right leg. So while you're up there, you could try and straighten it a little bit, because we're going to come into a little bit of a funny old forward fold in a minute with this right leg extended out in front of us. So bring that left knee back down, bringing the hands down on the inside of the right leg, and we're going to walk the hands back in. Release the back toes. Walking the hands back in, you can take your hands on either side. You can draw this leg in if you want. It might be quite strong, so just be aware of that. Yes, Neve, I know this is going to be really strong for your hamstring, so just stay where you are, that's fine. Okay, so if you're up here, that's fine. You're going to be getting that stretch through that leg there. If you're down here, that's fine too. You can bring your body down and move into the stretch. Okay, and again, remembering that we are where we are in our practice, and that's why it's called a practice. So don't be telling your body off, ever, about anything, okay? So just hanging out in there, and not just noticing the hamstring, but also notice the ankle in here. So this is another kind of part of your body where we're all really different. So some people's ankles will allow the foot to move forwards. They might have a lot of movement through the back of the ankle here. And then we're going to bring ourselves, move ourselves slowly forward. And this is where we're going to notice how much movement you've got in the front of the ankle here, because we're going to take our knee, the weight of our knee forwards. And some people's knee will be able to go really far forwards because of this space that they've got at the front of the foot. And some people's won't. But this is just to work into this left hip flexor. Okay, and the right knee can roll out if you want to. We're just breathing into this left hip flexor here. Okay, so it's a little bit like a very weird broken-legged pigeon. Very awkward pigeon. That's this pose's name. Okay, and inhale. Let's bring the hands back, tuck the back foot under, and let's bring this right leg back into our downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs again in here. Just stretching it all out, move it out again. And then let's bring this left leg up here. So raising this left leg up into your three-leg dog. And again, not worrying so much about what this leg is doing. If you feel like you want to roll it around in the hip, that's fine. But what we're working with here is the standing leg. So breathing into, if your heel is up, that's absolutely fine. If it's down, that's fine. Just moving into those spaces on the inside of the leg, into the groin, the calf, maybe even the ankle. And then bringing this left foot through to the top of the mat, and help it if you need to. If you want to drop the back knee, you can. We're going to take this left arm up here. Okay, and if you want to tuck the back foot under and lift the back leg, you can. And again, just think about rolling through the toes and through that hip flexor, moving into those spaces. Extending that left arm up. Rolling it out. Playing around with that in there. And then bringing that knee back down. We're going to bring the hands in and start moving your hips back. Then when you get to a certain point, your hands might move to the outside of the leg. And again, so you might just be here. And this might be as far as you want to go in that pose. Or you might want to bring the hips further back. And it's kind of up to you. So you'll get different feeling of stretch wherever you go in this pose. So you might find that it's a really nice stretch through here. You might find that you want to stay up here, like higher up. That's fine. That might be enough for you. And if you are up here, you might find that you want to come further down and get a different kind of stretch. It might be further into the glute and into the back of the left thigh. Okay, so just move around in this pose however you want. Whatever feels right for you, where you're feeling the most benefit, I guess, is kind of what I'm trying to say very badly. Okay, and then we're going to come up from here, pushing into that back leg, and this is where you'll see this movement again through the ankle. So just noticing how much movement you've got. I'm pretty sure ballerinas have got like so much length through the front of their foot, and they've got a very easy joint here at the heel. And then bringing the weight of the body forwards, we're going to play around with the knee here. So bringing the knee further forwards into our newly named awkward pigeon, which is kind of like lizard, but it's not lizard. And you're going to be sinking into the right hip flexor here. So if you want to sink lower, you can. Okay, nice long breaths in here. Just trying to stay with the breath, as in trying not to realize that you've forgotten it. And then we're going to bring the hands back, tuck the back foot under, lift up, and take this left leg back into our downward facing dog. Okay? And then let's walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. Just leggings. So just walking back up to the top of the mat, into a forward fold, and grab hold of those elbows here. Okay, let's try and take the weight into the toes a little bit. If you need to turn the toes in and the heels out to get some movement in here, you can. Just breathe. Okay. And allow the hands to drop to the mat if or when they want to. Okay. And we're going to bring ourselves from here up into Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. And then from here, coming all the way back up to standing. So we're going to come up to standing, just roll the shoulders a little bit here. And we're going to interlace the hands behind your back. And we're going to take the left leg back here. So it doesn't have to be miles back. It can be just a little bit back. Again, we're going to be working into a hamstring stretch, but we're going to also be opening up the shoulders. So if you can interlace your hands behind your back, this is kind of reverse prayer. So if you did want to take a reverse prayer, you can. I just think it's much nicer to open up the shoulders this way. But if you are happy in a reverse prayer and you want to take it, then you totally can. But otherwise, interlace the hands. And then leading from the chest, folding from the hips. We're going to keep bringing the body forwards, trying to keep the hips level. A nice way of kind of working into this front hamstring is to flex and then release the front quads as you come down. Each time you flex and release them, you'll feel like you can go a little bit further, and it might take a long time. If you need to move the back leg further back, you can. And then allow the arms to fall over the head if that is your back. Okay. And then inhale. Now, that is such a strong pose, so I just want you to realize that. I mean, if you're like dying in that pose, that's fine, because it is really strong. And we're gonna soften this front knee, softening the front knee, hands into prayer, and we're gonna bring ourselves up into our little pop, and then bring the body down into Virabhadrasana C. And then suddenly this is like a leg barbecue. Okay, so just breathing into Virabhadrasana C, trying to get a nice straight line from tip of left toe to the crown of the head. I'm going to try and look at you, so it's going to make my go all around. Oh, beautiful! If you fall out of it, don't worry. And then we're going to bring, keeping it on just the right leg, lift the front of the body up. Bring this left knee forwards, right hand to left knee. We're going to take it into a twist. Take this left
hand back behind you. This is a balance challenge now, in case you needed me to tell you. Okay, gorgeous. So we're twisting back towards that left hand. Beautiful. Anyone whose hamstrings are like super stretchy, or you've got a super short leg and long arm, you could take your peace fingers to the big toe and extend the toe out. That's just an option. Woo! And then back to center. Oh, that leg feels good now, doesn't it? Wow. So wiggle that out. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So I'll just turn this way. Okay, so this time it's going to be the right leg coming back and interlacing the hands behind the back here. So draw the shoulders back. Okay. Opening up the chest, just feeling like a little bit of a back bend in here. And again, it doesn't have to be a very wide or a long stance. We're going to just then fold forwards. Now, keep the hands behind you here because we want to keep the chest nice and open so the spine's nice and straight. And again, flex and release. Squeeze and release those quads. And fold, 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 fold. Fold. Take your time folding. If you need to adjust the back leg, adjust the back leg. When you're ready, you can start extending the arms up and over, but try not to let the shoulders sort of sink into the neck. You're trying to keep those arms active and up and away. Up and away. Okay. And your gaze is towards your big toe, the big toe of the front foot. And then inhale, leading with the arms, bringing yourself back up. Release through those arms. Bring the hands into press. Soften this front knee. And we're going to pop, 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 pop ourselves up into Virabhadrasana A, Warrior 3. Virabhadrasana C, Warrior 3. I don't know why I said Warrior A. Okay. And breathe. Hello, legs. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys are absolutely fine and this doesn't feel like it's really strong. I just did a class before this, so maybe it's just me. Okay, and then softening that knee, bringing that leg very slowly in, bring the knee in and up. Left hand to right knee. Wow. Trying to keep your balance. And bring that right, wow. Bring that right hand behind you. I'm going to blame it on a wobbly floorboard now. If you can blame it on that too. If you want to roll this right ankle, get those Rice Krispies out, flex or point the toes. If you want to take your peace fingers to that big toe and extend it out, and then keep taking your gaze back to the right hand that's behind you, you can. Beautiful. Keeping the shoulder blades drawn in and down the back. And then release, hands back to prayer. Bring your hands up, your foot, back down and wiggle through those little leggies, those little leggingtons. Okay, come up onto tiptoes a little bit. Just notice how the calves feel. So lift up and down, kind of rolling through the feet, just waking those feet up a little bit in case they weren't already fully awake. And then we'll just come through an inhale, Vrikshasana, really reach it up in your Vrikshasana. Now squeeze the glutes together so you're not in a back bend. And we're just going to take a little banana to the left here. And keep trying to breathe into it. I'll just face you in case you don't know what I'm doing. Inhale, back to center. And let's exhale. helps you to clasp the finger, interlace the fingers and point the index fingers, then that's fine. And then inhale. Back up. Let's exhale. If you need to soften the knees, soften the knees. But we're going to exhale into forward fold. Allow the head to drop again. And just lengthening through the spine here. And just take a moment to notice how it feels. Can you feel like you've created a little bit of extra space through the body? Maybe noticing in here, those muscles in between the rib cage, in between the ribs, sorry. Okay. Then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the hands to the mat and just walk the feet back into a downward facing dog. Just breathing in this downward facing dog. Bringing the knees back down to the mat. Come through your cat and cow if you want. Flatten the feet and let's bring ourselves into a little child's pose. And just roll through the hips. If you need to split the hips apart a little bit more, you can split those knees apart. Okay, so nice long breaths in there. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves onto our front. So just crawling kind of onto your front. Pressing the hands underneath the shoulders. We're just going to lift up a little bit into a cobra. Make sure that you're pulling those shoulders down your back so it shouldn't feel too aggressive on the shoulders, keeping the elbows bent. And then fold forward, bringing your head down to the mat. Then allow your arms to come down by your sides. If you want to bring your side of your face onto the mat, you can. Just allowing your body to sink forwards here. But don't get too comfortable because we're going to roll from here onto our backs. So you might want to adjust this front hand, roll to bring yourselves into Shavasana. Okay. So come into, we're there. Neve, it's time for the duvet. Oh, hello. Hi, Mari's small person. Hello. Hi. You going to help Mummy by putting a blanket on her? She would probably like that. Okay. And it looks so small under here. So just get your, oh, well done. That's very good, Mari's little person. Okay. And you could give her a foot massage if you want. Okay. But just take some time here. Close your eyes. Allow your body to start sinking down. If you need to lift the chest and bring it back down again to create some space around the neck. Please do.
You might consider tucking the chin into the chest a little bit. Rolling the hips, sliding the heels. And then bring your focus down like we did at the beginning, just taking a little body scan here. Just noticing any parts of your body that feel like they need to move. And then if you can, just try and think about separating your skeletal or structural body from your physiological body. Imagining your muscles, your flesh of your calves, your thighs, your hips, your tummy, arms. Imagine gravity just drawing that down. Your bones will stay where they are. And your muscles will just keep softening. And bring your focus to the back of your head here. Allowing your neck to soften. Now all your muscles in your face, around your jaw, your neck. Everything softening, releasing. Allow yourself to experience the feeling of released tension in your forehead, around your temples. Feeling of all those tiny little muscles around your scalp. Letting go. So just slowly starting to bring that awareness back from wherever you've been, but take it slowly. Allow a little bit of movement into your body. Maybe notice how your body moves with the next few breaths that you take. Very gently and slowly start to bring yourselves up to a seated position. You can roll through or stretch through, whatever feels right. And bring your hands together in prayer. Just take a moment here to observe or bring an awareness into the space that you've created in your bodies and the softness that you've brought into your minds, energetically
these two are pretty linked. Energetically, we've created space, we've created ease in the body, but we've also created ease in the mind. So just observe that and see if you can keep bringing yourself back into that state as your day moves along. And let's close our practice on an exhale, on an om. So inhale. Namaste. Namaste, you guys. My little fishy. Namaste. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed everyone coming out of Shavasana then, because it looked like it was a good one.
Yeah.
Like one came out so slowly. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like, oh wow, they were all like really chilled. That was nice.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. It's so nice to see you as always. I can't wait till we're back together in real life, though.
Won't be long.
But I'll see you guys next week.
Have a
Yes,
lovely
thank
weekend.
you.
See you next week. Have a good
Have a
one.
lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.